Hello and welcome to my broadcast tonight. I would like to thanks for joining. I would like to thank my replay viewers for always joining and replaying this scope. If you are here as a replay viewer, thank you so much. I appreciate your coming here. My name is Bukola Oriola. I'm a speaker. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a survivor of domestic violence and domestic violence and human trafficking, and today is International Women's Day, and I'm doing this scope in honor of the person you are seeing in this video right now on the screen. Her name is Ese Rita Oruru. She's a Nigerian born girl in Bayelsa, and according to news reports, she was abducted and was married to one Yunusa Dahiru. According to the report, Yunusa is a trader or a customer with Ese's mom, and it was alleged that Yunusa abducted Ese and married her by force and also converted her to Muslim and took her from Bayelsa to Kano. So I'm going to change this screen for you to see. I also got a newsletter because I'm subscribed to Polaris Project, and you can see they have picture of different women around the world to celebrate International Women's Day today. And unfortunately, in the reports about human trafficking, or form of violence against women with human trafficking, according to the International Labour Organization, out of the 20.9 million victims of trafficking globally, a whopping 11.4 million are women and girls. That is a lot of people and a lot of women who are being trafficked around the world. And also, according to Polaris Project, because Polaris Project is a federal government agency here in the United States, according to their reports, women and girls are victims of human trafficking globally, and 84% of survivors who have called the National Human Trafficking Resource Center are women. And then, according to the report, also 18 countries have been provided training and technical assistance by Polaris to fight human trafficking. So that is just a quick kind of statistics. But my focus tonight is to celebrate the International Women History Month, and today that I just showed you. So I'm going to put down my camera so I can talk to you guys. So it's really sad that in 2016, we are still fighting slavery. In 2016, we are still experiencing young girls being abducted. We are still experiencing forced marriage in 2016. We need to stand up. I'm calling on all of you out there to stand up with Ese. And it's so sad that I'm reading the report and finding out that this 13-year-old girl is pregnant. Her body is not fully formed. Her womb is not fully developed to carry a 7-pound baby, even a 5-pound baby, because she's still a baby herself. Her body has not fully developed. She's still growing. And it is also alleged that the abductor, Yunusa, is saying that she didn't adopt the girl. The girl agreed. She agreed to be a Muslim, and she agreed to be his wife. How can a 13-year-old agree? According to the Trafficking in Persons report, any person under the age of 18 is a minor and cannot consent. So a 13-year-old cannot consent to marriage. A 13-year-old cannot consent to, I'm changing my religion. A 13-year-old cannot consent to anything that a full-grown adult can consent to. And I'm hoping that justice will be brought in this case, because this is just ridiculous that a 13-year-old will be taken. And Bayelsa, when you look at the map of Nigeria, Bayelsa is at the bottom of the map and Kano is at the top of the map. According to reports, it's about 600 miles away from each other. So this girl was taken away from family members. She was taken away from friends. So she doesn't have any kind of contact. She doesn't have, any kind of support. And I want to find out from the parents, I haven't read any reports about the parents or statement from the parents. It's just the same report that is being recycled on the internet. So I really want to ask, how did this girl get abducted? What happened? What transpired? Because the man seemed to be a known man to her mother. So if he's a trader to her mother, so what transpired between them? Because, this is one cultural thing for, I hope that service providers are listening to this scope in the United States. And I hope that law enforcement are listening to this scope in the United States. I hope that the US government is listening to the scope in the United States. In Nigeria, one of the things, the common things, is that one stupid older person in the community, whether it's your mother's client, selling as a trader, will come and touch you inappropriately and say to you, even in the presence of your mom, that, oh, she's my wife, I'm going to marry her. And we touch the girl inappropriately, and the parents will not say anything. That is ridiculous. It is wrong. It is time for us to stop these kind of things. And I'm calling on you parents in Nigeria, please, pay attention. Stop all this barbaric stuff of an older person coming and saying, I'm going to marry your daughter. And they will even touch your daughter inappropriately. Otherwise, how did he kidnap the girl and took her all the way to Kano? And then it was also said that she was taken to the emir's palace. And the emir said they should take her back. Okay, how come? I need to know why the emir is not calling the parents to say, hey, your child is in Kano. Your child is here with Yunusa. What is your child doing here with Yunusa? Let's even, right now, let's even leave religion aside and just focus on a minor and this adult that is exploiting a minor. And then now she's pregnant, according to news reports. She's 5 months pregnant. And the report says that the hijab she's wearing is to cover the pregnancy. For Christ's sake, a 13-year-old pregnant. She's still a baby. She's not even grown yet. She's not fully formed. Her brain is still growing. Your brain is still growing until you are like in your 20s. Your brain is still trying to develop. It's still developing. You are 20 years old. Trust me, you're not smart enough. 20 years old, your brain has not fully formed. It's still growing. I was in a class and they talked about brain in violence prevention class, and they talked about how the brain works and how the brain develops. I think when you're even 26 years old, that's when your brain kind of reach the first stage of you can fully develop now. You can make, all kind of sound decisions. But until you are that age, your brain is still growing. And look at the poor girl. Her childhood has been deprived of her, and then the stigma that she's going to live with for the rest of her life in a country where, women don't really have a voice. I do hope that in this case, there will be no lip service. And in this case, something will be done. And in this case, community members, I'm calling on you, community members in Nigeria, please do not stigmatize this girl. Because, you know, they will mock her at school. Her friends will laugh at her. People who don't even know her will use it as a mockery comment to this girl. And you can imagine her to live with this for the rest of her life. Please, we need to do something about this. This needs to stop. It really needs to stop. This is wrong. It's against humanity. It's against women around the world. And this is just outright wrong for a 13-year-old. A 13-year-old cannot give consent. A 13-year-old is still growing. And I'm calling on you parents, please, do not allow, I don't care how much this person is paying you for trading with you. I don't care who the person is. Protect your children. Whether your children are boys or your children are girls. Protect your children. And let's begin to stop those men that will come and make all those kind of comments and say, oh, I'm going to marry her. She's my wife. Don't let anybody call your daughter his wife when he's not married to that girl. When your child is still growing, when your child is still a baby to be nurtured, please, because it starts from verbal. And wouldn't know the man, because the man is a trader. He might have been saying it different times whenever I came to trade with her mom, saying, oh, my wife, come here, my wife, and might have been touching the girl inappropriately before finally taking the girl and saying, oh, the girl is, you know, agrees, the girl consents. How can a 13-year-old cannot consent? Please, a 13-year-old cannot consent. Please get this straight. A 13-year-old cannot consent. This is wrong. And there's justice that needs to be brought to this case. This is outright wrong. A 13-year-old cannot consent. And please, mothers, I'm calling on you, especially mothers in Nigeria and in other countries where this happens, where somebody will come and say, hey, this is my wife. She's my wife. And, you know, before you know it, the person has touched, they start with touching your hand or, you know, holding you tightly or holding you to their private part. That is crap. So please, I'm calling on you parents, especially moms, to start paying attention. Don't allow anybody to be telling your baby, oh, she's my wife, I'm going to marry you one day. No, that needs to stop. It really, really needs to stop. Please, it needs to stop. You know, I'm using this time to dedicate a time to all women around the world, especially women who have gone through domestic violence, or women who have gone through human trafficking, or women who have been sexually exploited or sexually harassed or sexually molested or raped. Because women go through a lot, and women, unfortunately, you know, even sometimes your child will tell you that somebody touched me inappropriately, and you will not believe the child, or you just dismiss it. Please, let us as parents start paying attention to this. Let's listen to our kids. Let's not just dismiss whatever they say to us, because there are adults sometimes in the neighborhood that we see a little girl and say, oh, that's my wife. Whose wife? It needs to stop. Those kind of comments needs to stop in the community. It really needs to stop, because that is what is encouraging child bride, and that is what is encouraging this kind of incidents. It needs to stop. We need to stop all these men that come and take advantage of young girls. Now, Ese's childhood has been stolen from her. Her childhood has been taken away from her. And beyond that, even her adulthood has been put in jeopardy, because she will continue to live with that stigma for the rest of her life. Especially when she cannot get adequate support from family, friends, and community members. And I'm calling on our parents, I'm calling on family members, I'm calling on extended family members and community members in Bayelsa to please support Ese. Show our love. Do not allow anybody to use what happened to her to tease her. Please, the mental agony that she's going through right now is great. Talk less of community stigma. So I'm begging you to please show your support for Ese today. Show your love for Ese. Do not stigmatize Ese. Show her that you care about her and that you support her, and do not allow anybody to use what happened to her to tease her in the community. Please, a childhood has been stolen already. It has been stolen. Please, our adulthood is coming. Let her get into her adulthood with some hope in her heart. Please, because this is outright wrong. A child cannot consent to anything. To anything, a child cannot consent. A child cannot consent. You know, beyond us talking about this, beyond us saying, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. Let us start to take action. And one of the action I'm asking you today to support every woman around the world is do not stigmatize Ese. As community members, as family members, as friends, as extended family, as immediate family, do not tease her with what happened to her, no matter what. And always stand up for her whenever somebody is trying to tease her. They will not tease her now. Now that the story is hot, somebody will not tease her now until everything dies down. That's when somebody will start teasing her with what happened to her. So please do not stigmatize Ese. Then the second thing, I'm calling on all parents, especially mothers. God bless you all women. Mothers in Nigeria, whenever you hear a man say to your little girl, that is going to be my wife, oh, my wife, and the person comes and jokingly says, hey, my wife, tell the person to stop the crap right away. Tell the person, stop right now. She is not going to be your wife, and do not touch her. Don't allow any man to touch your little baby inappropriately. It is wrong. Don't allow anybody to touch your child. And third thing I'm asking you to do today, please pay attention to your children and listen to your children. When your children come to you and tell you somebody said inappropriate thing to them, for example, you know some men, they have so much guts, they will tell you, I want to have sex with you. I have been told that as a child. Listen to that kid and go to that man and warn the man that he should never. And I think, you know, they have child law and all kinds of law in Nigeria. Please, I'm calling on the Nigerian government. I'm calling on the judiciary. Start putting that law to work. Please. Like all these kind of things that we dismiss as if, oh, it's nothing. Let's start taking action, putting action to it. Let us not wait until it gets to the point of Ese situation before we take action. We need to take preventive action before it results to this kind of thing with this innocent child. Before it gets to this point, let's start taking action. So when a child complains to a parent, they need to go to court. And let that person be reprimanded by the court. Let the community turn against that kind of a person that is saying to a child, a young child, you are my wife. No, she's not your wife. And I'm calling on you all men out there in Nigeria. Do not, you know, this is my next one. All of you men, all men in Nigeria. I have, you know, my father is a man and I have brothers, right? And I have family members that are men. So I'm calling on everybody. You know, do not say to a child, you are my wife. No. Let us stop it. Please, I'm begging you all today. Let us stop because this is outright wrong. Before it gets to a situation like this, we need to start stopping it. We need to start preventing so that this kind of thing will not happen. We need to start preventing it. So I'm calling on you, Nigerians, I'm calling on you men out there, and I'm calling on you women. Mothers, protect your children. Do not allow anybody to touch your child inappropriately. And do not allow anybody, thank you for joining, countries. Do not allow anybody to say to your child, you are my wife. She's not your wife. She's not. If you did not take her to the courthouse to marry, or if you did not sit with her as an adult and sit with the family and have a traditional rite done, or traditional marriage or setting done, and not with a child, it has to be with an adult. Do not call that person your wife. Enough of this kind of, we shouldn't be having this kind of case in 2016 in Nigeria. So please, I'm begging you, every community member, start stopping this. When you hear, it's harmful. Wow, it happens here in the US too. A man will be calling a child my wife. Please, okay, I'm calling on you all over the world, including the United States. When you hear a man saying to a child, my wife, you need to stop that man. You need to report that man, please. You need to report. I do know that, in the US, there are pedophiles, there are people that sexually abuse, but I've never seen it publicly where a grown man will say to a child, oh, my wife, and touch the child inappropriately. But in Nigeria, it's common. Somebody will just touch you. I remember my own guardian in boarding school told me, I want to have sex with you. And my parents will not believe me. So please, we need to stop this. And it happens all the time. I've had different men say that to me as a child. And, it's like, nobody pays attention to it. A man will just say, oh, my wife. We tell a little child, oh, my wife, she's my wife. We need to stop that. We really need to stop it. Now it's no longer a joke. It's something in the culture that we need to start addressing. It's something in our tradition that we need to start addressing. Do not call a child your wife. She is not your wife. She is not. She's not your wife. And parents, please listen to your kids. And when a man tells your child, oh, that's my wife, warn the person and say, do not ever touch my child. Do not. She's not your wife. She is not. She cannot be your wife, and she will never be your wife. Period. End of story. Please, I'm begging you, parents and men, stop it. Cut the crap. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Now is the time to stop it. I'm using Ese story now. We shouldn't let it get to this point. Now she's pregnant. 5 months pregnant. 13-year-old. 5 months pregnant. We need to stop it. We do need to stop this. So please, I'm begging you, we need to stop this. And I'm begging you this, yes, it's so awful. That is really, really so awful. She's 13 years old and she's pregnant. To the man who said she consented. How can a 13-year-old give consent? A 13-year-old cannot give consent because she's still growing. Her brain is still growing. She's not fully grown yet. So she cannot consent. And then made her become a Muslim. And said she consented. She cannot consent to anything. A 13-year-old, she cannot. So please, I'm begging you, parents, watch your kids. Yeah, I'm in Minnesota, but it happened. Yes, it's not age of consent anywhere in the US. This happened in Nigeria. This is a story trending right now in Nigeria of a 13-year-old. Her name is Ese Rita Oruru. According to news report, she was born in Bayelsa State and she was abducted by a man who happens to be the customer of her mom, like trader, and took her to Kano, about 600 miles away, and married her there and turned her to a Muslim and said she consented. And now she's pregnant. She cannot consent. She's only 13 years old. A 13-year-old cannot consent. And please, let us fight for all women. Let us fight for all women worldwide. Let us fight for all women. According to reports, women are the most trafficked, women are the most abused, women are the most exploited. You know, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, women face a lot of agony in this world. So please, I'm begging you to stand up for women, and I'm dedicating today's broadcast to Ese. And please, I'm begging you out there in Nigeria, do not stigmatize this girl. Do not. Because once the story dies down, then somebody can even release a music to sing. Not a music to sing to console the girl. So please, I'm calling on you entertainers. This is not a joke. It is not a joke. Do not take this as a joke. Take this as something really serious that we all need to stand against and we all need to fight against. And please, do not stigmatize this girl. Family members, I'm begging you to rally around her, not just this moment that the camera is all over you, but when all the cameras shut down. Show your support to this girl. Do not allow any community member, either a man or fellow women, to tease her for what happened to her now or later. Please support this girl. Give her all the moral support that she needs right now. And please take her to therapy. Take her to mental health therapy. It's going to really help her. Take her to mental health therapy. And she needs a lot of attention. She's not fully grown to have a baby. So please, I'm calling on you to take care of Ese. I'm calling on the Nigerian government to take care of Ese. Honestly, Kechi, thank you for joining. I'm calling on you, Bayelsa State Governor and wife of Bayelsa State Governor. Hello. I want you to support Ese. Bayelsa State Governor and the wife, I'm calling on you to support Ese. I'm calling on the... Thank you for sharing, honestly, Kechi. Thank you so much. I'm calling on you, Nigerian government. I'm calling on the President of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari. Please, I'm calling on you to support Ese. I'm calling on you to give Ese the support she needs, not only now, but the support that will help her to the future. Please, support Ese. Support Ese. I'm calling on you out there to support Ese. Thanks. I'm calling on you. Please support Ese and do not stigmatize her. And we need to stop men who take advantage of girls and who take advantage of women. This needs to stop right now, this minute. It needs to stop. Anywhere around the world, it needs to stop. Please, I'm calling on you and I'm begging you to give this girl the support that she needs at this time. And I hope that NAPTIP will get on this case too and do something about it. And I hope that this case will not turn to just some talks, some talk and push under the carpet. But this case will be one that will stop others from doing this. I hope that is what this case will result to. And I hope there can be, like how they have Amber Alert, there can be an alert, Ese Alert in Nigeria, to stop child bride. Let's start Ese Alert. Ese Alert to stop child bride in Nigeria. Please, I'm begging on you. This needs to stop. And I'm calling on the government to give this girl the support she needs. Not because of camera now. Not because there are cameras. But when the camera shut down, this girl needs all the support. I'm calling on you to support her. I'm calling on you not to stigmatize her now or later. Do not point fingers at her and do not tease her for what happened to her, because her childhood was stolen from her and now her adulthood is going to be a challenge. Even think about getting married. A man can use that against her. So please, I'm begging on you to support this girl and let us work together to stop child bride in Nigeria. This is unacceptable. A child cannot consent. A 13-year-old is not fully developed. Yeah, that would be awesome to have a... Yes, and this one will be Ese Alert. Let's start hashtag Ese Alert. Please, let's start hashtag Ese Alert. Hashtag Ese Alert. This needs to stop. This really needs to stop. Child bride of every form needs to stop. And part of Ese Allah will be, you hear somebody saying to your child, oh, my wife, and touch your child inappropriately. You stop that person and remind the person of Ese Allah. You know, it needs to stop. An adult should not look at a kid and say, hey, my wife, and touch the child. Who is Ese? Thanks. Ese is a young girl. She's 13 years old, born in Bayelsa. The news broke out over the last weekend that she was abducted and was married by one Yunusa Dahiru in Kano State. According to the report also, Yunusa is a trader who trades with Ese's mom. So I guess he buys things or something like that, or they trade with each other in Bayelsa. And went to Bayelsa to pick up the girl. And said the girl followed him to Kano and consented to marry him. And he went to marry the girl and turned her to a Muslim and took her to the palace. Some reports say, you know, they accused the emir that was where she got married and was converted. And the emir denied and said that she was already converted to Muslim and she was just brought to the palace to show the emir that she has converted to a Muslim. And he asked them to take the girl back. So if he really asked them to take the girl back, how come he's not calling her family right away? How come he's not calling the news media to say, hey, excuse me, this is what I'm seeing, oh, this is what I'm seeing, please. We need your help to get this girl back to her family. Now she's pregnant. She's 5 months pregnant. A 13-year-old. 5 months pregnant. You know, she's not fully developed. She's still a baby. And how can a 13-year-old consent? And I'm saying that according to the Trafficking in Persons Act, a 13-year-old cannot consent. Because a 13-year-old is not fully developed. Her brain has not fully developed. And go and ask neurosurgeons or those that study the brain. You know, I found out recently that your brain is still forming, even in your 20s. And it's not fully formed until you're like 26 years old. So how can a 13-year-old, you know, consent? How can she understand, okay, this is the person I want to marry? She cannot. And this is really wrong. So help me start Ese Alert and stop child bride in Nigeria. And stop child molestation, child abuse of any kind on the girl child especially. You know, one of it is somebody comes to your house or somebody comes to your mom's marketplace or somebody sees you in the community and say, hey, my wife. That is part of it. It needs to stop. Men needs to stop saying that to girls. That, oh, you are my wife. I'm going to marry you. You are not going to marry her. It needs to stop. So please, you know, I want you to join me to stop this in Nigeria. And I'm calling on the government, both the federal and the state, to support Ese. You know, support Ese. Not only now that the camera is there, but after the camera shuts down, Ese needs all the help. She needs all the support, moral support, mental health therapy. You know, give her good health because she's pregnant on top of it. You know, even as an adult, when you are pregnant, it's not easy. How much more a 13-year-old that is still a baby herself? You know, her pelvic is not even fully developed. How is she going to birth that? You know, even if it's a 5-pound baby, how is she going to give birth to that 5-pound baby? Much less a full-term child most of the time is like 7 pounds. How is she going to push a 7-pound baby? So please, I'm calling on you to support Ese. I'm calling on you. She's 5 months pregnant. She's 5 months long, so she's more than halfway long. Because it's 9 months to carry a pregnancy. And if she's already in 5 months, you know that, you know, the 4.5 months, the half is over. She's already in the 2nd trimester. So please, I'm begging you to support Ese and let us stop this kind of barbaric act. So today I'm dedicating this scope again to Ese. My name is Bukola Oriola, and I thank you all for joining me. Today is International Women's Day. So, and this month of March is Women History Month, and today is International Women's Day. And I'm giving a shout out to all women out there, especially women who are survivors of domestic violence, human trafficking, sexual assault, sexual harassment, rape, and all form of violence. Oh, which other one is that? The FMG, right? The mutilation thing. So I'm dedicating this specific scope to women across the world, and I hope to talk to you again. Before I go, my name is Bukola Oriola. I'm a speaker, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an advocate. I advocate for victims and survivors of human trafficking and domestic violence. I'm an entrepreneur. I help women start their business or help to understand how to start their own business or make their business work. And I also speak and consult. So if you are looking for a speaker talking about, culture and how to understand culture nuances among the immigrant community, you can give me a call or contact me at info@bukolaoriola.com, or you can email me bukola@bukolaoriola.com. I'm on Facebook, I'm Bukola Oriola. I'm on Twitter, I'm Bukola Oriola. I'm on Periscope, I'm Bukola Oriola. And of course, this scope will go on YouTube on Bukola Oriola Periscope videos. So if you miss my scope, you can catch me on YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube for you. And I hope you find this useful. And, I'm calling again on the Nigerian government and community to please rally around Ese and support her, especially when the cameras are shut down. Thank you so much for this time, and I hope to talk to you again. Thank you, all of you that joined me during this scope, and thank you to all my replay viewers and all my web viewers too. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Bye-bye.